Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kakadash. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Shem Kakadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, I'm going to make this controversial. Almost clickbait. Is it biblical to deal with your niece? Is it biblical to deal with your niece? You know what I mean, deal with. That's the first title. The second title is, you can't understand the scriptures if you're emotional. Can't understand the scriptures if you're emotional. Oh, this is, you see this page. I was listening to this. This is the Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan. You know, he's come on. I heard him, first time I heard him was on XM Radio, and I went to the YouTube page. This is around 2 years ago, something like that. And he's pretty much, I don't know if y'all know about Gary Knoll, another person that's heavy into, how can I say, naturalistic instead of holistic, which is like herbs and proper diet. But Nathaniel Jordan and Gary Knoll both say, don't, you can't eat meat at all, period. But the Bible says you can eat meat. And Nathaniel Jordan been challenged on that. You know, he knows a lot about the body and medicine. And now he's on more of a Hebrew Israelite trip. So you'll hear more of him. But anyway, he has got a lot of good things. But the meat thing he goes off on. How you gonna keep the Passover? Gonna have meatless lamb? Anyway, this video popped up. St. Louis. That's everybody's auntie or mama. A sister collapsed and dies in the middle of eating herself to death at Jasper's restaurant. And we already know the story. We can already, you know, that basically most Jakes eat like the clumps at the dinner table. They'll eat a lot of meat. They'll eat a lot, and unclean meats, and a lot of carbs. They load up on carbs, and they load up on too many proteins. What you can get sick from that, you can die, and she actually died. Scriptures speak about a glutton. You know what I mean? Let me do this. Right here, let me go to glutton. Go to glutton. Glutton. Let me do it this way. Do it this way. Matthew 11. I'll try to keep this short, but let's see where the Spirit takes me. Son of man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibbler, who friend of publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children. So let's look at this word gluttonous. A ferocious man, a glutton. Glutton definition. Gluttony, wait for a minute. Gluttony means overindulgence and over consumption of food, drink, or wealth items, particularly as status symbols. In Christianity, it is considered a sin if the excessive desire for food causes it to be withheld from the needy. Some Christians denominations consider gluttony one of the seven deadly sins. Seven deadly sins, not even in the scriptures. Here's a picture right here. And hey, not nothing but look at the hairstyle. Looks just like the black woman in the picture. You got a slave, what looks like a slave there, and he's just eating. Look at his stomach. Look at that. But you can die eating like eating that in that way. Go right here. See if that's anywhere in the Apocrypha. Gluttonous for the drunkard and the gluttonous shall come to poverty, and the drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Deuteronomy 21:10. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is a stubborn and is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Eats too much, drinks too much, plays video games all day. You know, and he don't want to do nothing. The Lord says you put him to death. You mean you put a lazy son to death? Did you regret making that statement to her? We're gonna get into that. So let's look up the word glutton in the Hebrew. Let's do this. Let's modify this. Everything's in the scriptures. Everything is in the scriptures. I hit the one button. Apocrypha. What? Okay, I guess that's not in there. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try gluttonous. The Apocrypha speaks about being niggardly. Gluttonous. I read this. Luke says the same thing. Let's modify it. Okay, let me do this. Niggard. Modified Apocrypha. Ecclesiastes 14:3. Riches are not common for a niggard. And a niggard has nothing to do with color. It's an attitude. And what should an envious man do with money? You know, Jake, when they play for the NBA, they do different things in sports, NFL, even boxing. Jake, he retires, might have 100 million, might have 350 million. I think Tyson, there was a story on Tyson. At one point, I believe almost around about his retirement, he was worth, they estimated him being worth, and this is like in the 90s. So anything that you got back in the 80s, 90s, you can 10 times that. So Tyson was supposedly worth at that time 350 million to 400, maybe even 500 million, but dead broke. He became homeless at one time. Then he reinvented himself. So now he's rich. He's rich, he's wiser. It says, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at the table. I don't got to explain that. Ecclesiastes 31, verse 24. But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur. Look at how that nigga eats. And the testimonies of his niggardness shall not be doubted of. Now I ain't go to that nigga's house. He'll offer you, food. Then he'll grab the plate from your ass. He'll eat his food. Read that again. But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur. That's gossip. Let me just do this. So this woman was a niggard. She was probably a Baptist. Excuse me. And not getting on this woman. She just happens to be in the story, and we know why she died, because she ate like that every day. And she was overweight. So let me do this. That's a gluttonous. Oh, this scene right here from the movie Mighty Python. I forget the actual movie, but this guy he's constantly eating, and he's throwing shit up, and he's eating more. And that's what they did in the Roman Empire. What did they call it? Vomitorians? If I'm not, please forgive me if I'm not saying it right. Where you go to the bathroom, you do the number one, number two, but you did the number three, which you ate in the Roman Empire. If you were of a high status, you ate, and then you went to the bathroom, you threw it all up, you came back, and then you ate some more, you got up and you threw it up. You eat. The reason why there's a when you go to buy food outside, it's called a restaurant. The word restaurant means to restore. That's where you get the word restore. In other words, you're famished, you eat somebody, eat somebody, eat something, eat food, so you can restore your energy levels. So now let me see. We go here. Let's see what the definition is. A stingy or ungenerous person. Like if somebody comes to my house, I make some food, I'll see if I can rustle up something for the guests, or I say, let's all go out and eat. I'm not gonna go buy nothing, eat it in front of them, and they don't eat because they don't have no money. I'm gonna say, well, it's on me, whatever y'all want. And I did that. We do that in GMS. We're supposed to do that. I remember years ago, we used to go out as a group after camp sometime. We'd catch a certain movie, and we a whole camp would go out, and there was always maybe 2 or 3 brothers that didn't have enough money, so we would just chip in. Or I would say, well, I got that brother. Somebody, well, I got this brother. Another, I got that brother. No big deal. You ain't gonna say, well, wait in the car. We'll tell you what the movie was like. So this is all you need: a stingy or ungenerous person. Like it applies to food. It also applies to money. You got Jake that, like I said, played for the NBA, retires. He may buy his mama a house, but his close friends that he came up with, he might not help. He might not give a damn about. He might not give a damn about his mama. I don't know what is. Jake is Jake. It means stingy for a stingy person as far as money is concerned, as far as food is concerned. It applies to the truth. A lot of y'all out there from One West have this knowledge. You ain't doing nothing, so you're pretty much a niggard. You're stingy with the truth. You don't give it to other people. The truth was given unto you, so you can give to the Israelites. Okay, so let me come back to this here. And I'm pretty sure she was very well loved. A typical Jake woman had has children. Some of them are successful or whatever. So from some, you got out of this woman, a typical black woman, they have kids that are talented. Some of them become doctors, some become lawyers, some become gang bangers, some become NBA superstars, NFL boxing stars. You know, Floyd Mayweather came out of a meager existence because he was with his mother in New Jersey. Then they went back to Grand Rapids under his father, and he became rich because of his father. You know, so anyway, this is a lesson to you: don't eat like the clumps. Don't eat like the clumps. It's not just about what you eat. You might say, well, look, I'm keeping the laws. I'm not eating no pork. But yeah, but you eating 5 hamburgers. You know? Every time you turn around, you got a big gulp and a honey bun. And that could, you can die. It's called SAD, sudden adult death. Many people have died eating. And I'm not talking about choking on a chicken bone. I'm talking about eating to the excess where your heart just stops. I mean, it's a shame. I'm sure she had children, she had grandchildren, maybe even some great grandchildren or whatever. But that's part of the curses too. You go around Esau, a lot of these Edomites. Hey, you go to Edomite areas, prominent, upper middle class, educated. What stores you don't see no Kennedy Fried Chicken or no Mama's Fried Chicken or no dollar stores. You'll see Whole Foods, you'll see Trader Joe's, you'll see gymnasiums. Just go to any random area in New York State or whatever, go into the neighborhoods and you can already know if there's no people walking up and down the streets. You can know what people live there based upon the businesses around them, the restaurants, the supermarkets. Because Esau is about being healthy, right? Anyway, let me come back over here. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Okay, this popped up. So this inspired me to do a video. There's a video I put up. This is from GMS Rebuke the Tempter 2, Shalom to the brother, to the elder. He's from the New York camp. GMS declaring the end spot on, but this is not the okay, here it is. I'm gonna do this. You click on this. This is a video I did pretty much the same time that Bishop Nate did a video on Second Ezra 11. I didn't watch the whole video, but I, screenshotted it. And what I mean by that is I screenshot the video as it was, live or premiered. And he was going good. And then all of a sudden he said, Second Ezra 11 is talking about America, Rome, and Great Britain. He said one was on the right side, the other was in the left side, Rome was in the middle, which is clear. Where did he get that from? If you watch this video, I said, what? But he went into the 12 Caesars. So I said, oh, he's studying. That's good. And I realized something. I said, wait a minute. One of the brothers, beloved brother, up and coming elder, he did a video. He was breaking down going into a lot of deep breakdowns. And one of the videos was on Second Ezra 11 and Second Ezra 12. So I said, that's where he got it from. And I said on this very video, if that's not the case, I said, please, Bishop Nate, tell me that you didn't. But then I'll apologize. But I believe you got it from him. You got to look at the timing. So this Bishop Nate is not all that deep. And the fact that he said America, he really wasn't deep. He's really not deep. He's a master of regurgitation. Okay, so this is GMS Rebuke the Tempter 2. Notice on his comment board, no little to no scriptures, just a whole bunch of cheerleaders. So I put in the definition for cheerleaders. He came back and said spot on. So I'm looking at the and that's true. They just they went with it. Yeah, that's I'm gonna teach it that way. Oh, this guy right here, Kevin Wesley, he used to be a Christian, I guess, pastor. But now he don't believe in the Most High, don't believe in the Bible. He's he comes against the Bible. And the reason why, because he actually went deep into the Bible and came across certain scriptures like rape and other doctrines. Said, "Nah, I can't believe." He got emotional. One of the titles in this particular video, you have the word emotional. By the way, Second Ezra chapter 11. You see this right here. This is the brother that, which is Bakar Amath. That's the name that he goes by. If you click on that video. Okay, there was another. I'm just checking these. Okay, it's right over here. Paul Kersey 4. Apostle Tahar. And this is one of the top members of IUIC. And they still stuck on that emotion, dealing with the grape doctrine. So he says, Apostle Tahar, do you ever regret bringing out the grape doctrine? People still bringing it up. Yeah, and those people that are bringing it up are not deep people. They're full of their emotions, just like you. Because we made it crystal clear. So this is me. Well, is the doctrine right or wrong? I'm not dealing with emotion. I'm dealing with is the doctrine. If I tell a man he works the graveyard shift or whatever, midnight to 7 or whatever, 8, I'm around, I see his woman sneaking out the house, jumping in the car with some nigga. And I'm like, that's a bad situation. And it happens every night. And he goes to work. And I tell the nigga, yo, you know your woman be, she when you go to work, an hour later, she gets up and this nigga pick her up. And he says, nah, that ain't true. And somebody else says it. And then he doesn't want to talk to you no more. Because he got emotional. He bitched up. So this right here is an emotional, as Nia Long, how she said it, I'm emotional. What movie that's from? Is that from? And that woman gets emotional. So I'm gonna read it again. Apostle Tahar, do you ever regret bringing out the grape doctrine? People still bringing it up. No, I don't regret it, of course, because it's the truth. Because it's the truth. I'll regret if I bring something up in the scriptures that I was wrong on, I was correct and I stayed with it. I would ultimately regret that or should regret it. And the answer is absolutely no. So my thing is, well, is the doctrine right or wrong? So now the onus, the ball is back in his court because it's a game. So it's up to him to research it and show me that I'm wrong. And he can't show me that I'm wrong. We're not going to just teach something if we don't do the research. And a lot of these Israelites are caught up in their emotions. And I'm not even going to go into it because I went into it. You should have saw the videos I did how many years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. You should have watched the videos instead of getting emotional. Because anytime we did a video on that, it was other Israelites, but one of the main ones was IUIC and ISUPK. But IUIC, they did counter videos, and they did say that it's justified to grape a woman. In the case of Judges, was that Judges 19, Judges 20? Somebody said there was Asaph that said, You can only do it in an emergency situation. So they got caught up in their emotions. Like I said, you can't learn this truth if you're caught up in your emotions. If you go into the scriptures and you read it like a Baptist, you ain't gonna understand a damn thing. Oh, you're right. I just caught this. I just caught this. Judah, Israel. Right. He said, Shalom Apostle Tahar. Absolutely right, but not Mark Anthony. You're right on that. You're right on that. It was Pompey. You're correct. I hadn't gone through this in a while. So you were correct. So Mark Anthony was part of the second triumvirate when ultimately the first triumvirate was Julius Caesar, Marcus, Crassus, and Pompey. And then Mark Antony comes along. There's a whole different other history, but you're right. You're right on that. You're correct. Because I hadn't gone through this in literally in years. Okay, so let me do this. Let me give you a couple of precepts. Like I said, I'm not going to be long. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. Grape is in the Bible. If you go out to war, when you go back to our foreparents, when they went out to war, there's a law. If you see a woman of another nation, you take the nation down, the parents are killed, and the reason why the daughter is not killed because she's a beautiful woman. So you're going to have a warrior that's going to snatch her up and say, well, I'm going to make her my woman. So he protect the woman. He'll say, but guard that woman. You know? And then, but it says in the law, you just can't, grape her on the battlefield. You got to give her 30 a month to mourn, a moon cycle to mourn. And then after you can take off the clothes of her captivity, and then you make her your wife, which is of another nation. The word wife just means woman. Whether you have a concubine or a actual wife, the difference is a concubine is like your side chick. You not necessarily, you didn't necessarily marry her. She's like a secondary woman that you use for sexual pleasure. So did Israel have more than one woman? Yeah, they had wives and they had concubines. And then another thing, when you go back to the IUIC, they say you can't have more than one wife. Even Kanai don't believe that. He said, man, you can have more than one woman. As a brother said on the fact info, what is that? IUIC fact check. He was telling this guy, this demon, what's his name? I forget the guy's name. I'm trying to think of his damn name. Bezalel. They call him Weaselil. The IUIC calls him Weaselil. And he's just an Israelite that's going to eat a missile because he's not doing the work. He got the truth. He was disenchanted by the truth because IUIC does have the truth. They just don't have 100% truth. And he's back out there in the world. He's not teaching no more. He ate the roll and he spit it back out. So not only did he get offended with IUIC, he got offended of the Lord. That's why he threw it all away. He ain't out there teaching. Okay, so let me Deuteronomy 21. domestic relations. And it says it right here. I'm not going to read it. You're in the midst of a battle. Thou hast taken them captive, and see if among the captives of another nation a beautiful woman. And you know the rest of the story. She should cut her hair and her nails, put off the garments of her captivity, and then you are to go into her and pop her after a month. And it says, and she shall be thy wife. And the word wife is from the Hebrew word. That's why you got to go into the Hebrew. You got the word ayash, which means man. In Arabic, ask any Arabic man, how do you say man in Arabic? They'll say ayash. How do you say woman? They'll say Aisha or ayash, ayasha, which is the feminine way of saying man. That's what the word means. If you click on it, if you carry yourself and think like a scholar, you'll see it. Instead of getting emotional, instead of guessing, well, let's prove she was an Israelite woman, because you can't have a wife of another nation. You can only have a concubine. Well, the word here is woman. She's going to become your woman. Oh, right here. If a man have two wives, so you can have two wives. You can have 5 wives. King Solomon had 1,000 women. David had many women. And the Lord told him, if you wanted more women, I would give you such and such. So stop getting emotional. Also, let's go to, if I'm not mistaken, I'm most positive it's Leviticus 21. Now, you call yourself keeping the laws. That's for any Israelite group. Do you guys practice selling your daughters to other Israelites? Hold up, let me see if I'm in the right. Bear me for a minute. Let me try this. That's not it. Let me try this. I might be in the wrong precept. Bear me for a minute. Let me try it this way. It might just be in Exodus 21. Try it one more way. Okay, it's not here. Okay, it's Exodus 21. Ordinance for the people. I'll start from the first verse. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an harlot, a Hebrew servant, 6 years, and this is Moses talking to the Israelites. So there was Hebrews that owned other Hebrew, but it was a 6-year period. If it was a man, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. And then you're supposed to give him substance. that he doesn't go and become a servant under anybody else. So he can get servants. And that's how a son of Israel became well off or rich. The case with Jacob and Laban. It says, if thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free from nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and the wife had no choice. The woman, if the master have given him a woman, the word there is woman, and she have borne him sons or daughters. And this act, by the way, the master gave the woman to the man, whether she liked it or not, because she was a servant under that particular man. Give me a second. Okay, fourth verse again, Exodus 21, verse 4. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, or sons and daughters, the wife and her child shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. You get a woman that the master gave you, you fall in love with that woman, you produce a family from that woman, and your time is up, 7 year, you're free. If you want to be free, you got to leave your woman and your children. Your woman and your children are slaves under the master. These are Hebrews, by the way. And what happened most of the time? You would not want to go in dealing with no woman because you want to go out by yourself, or you would bring your woman with you into servitude. It says, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. What does that mean? He's going to become a servant under this man till the day he dies, along with his wife and his children. They're all servants under this man. This family is a Hebrew family under another Hebrew man. And he was the one that said, look, I'm going to let you deal with this woman. And the master wanted you to like one of the women servants, because you produce more slaves for him, and possibly you're gonna keep this man forever. This is what the law says, man. Don't say keep the law, keep the law, keep the law, and you don't even read the law and study the law. So when the grape doctrine came up, what did you guys do? Instead of looking into it, doing the study, acting like a scholar, like Esau, you got all emotional. Even to this day, this was what, back in 2012, 2013. So we're talking damn 10 years. And you still caught up in your goddamn emotions, man. This is why GMS says we have 100% truth. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Now, the charagma, which most Israelites don't understand, the MOTB is nothing but a digital oil. So when the Lord comes back and you say, Lord, well, save me too, you can't be saved because he's going to see that you're going to see the charagma on you, and he's going to see that little light from the Lucifer race either shining on from your forehead or your hand, and you're going to get passed by. Seventh verse. And if a man sell his daughter, if a man, talking about what he's talking to Israelites, and if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, a slave, to another Israelite, she shall not go out as the manservants do. If you as an Israelite have a beautiful daughter and you make a deal with another Israelite man, he has a farm or something, he's a husbandman, and you say, okay, you give me X amount of money. And that's what Laban did with Jacob, right? With his two daughters. But he paid in years, 14 years. And he got bonuses, the two handmaids, because guess what? When he got Rachel and Leah, Rachel and Leah had handmaids, their own slaves. So he got the slaves too. So he was able to have sex with the principal woman, Rachel and Leah, and also have sex with the maid servants. And Leah and Rachel said, okay, come over here. I want you to lay with my man. And whatever children came out of that was Leah's children, sons, or Rachel's sons. That's how it went down in the ancient world. But you niggas been in the modern world too goddamn long. And I want some response on the nephew, the niece thing. Can you deal with your niece? Can you make your niece your woman? Can you marry your niece? Can your niece become your niece, your great niece? Can she become your wife as an Israelite pursuant to the Lord? So I'm waiting for your feedback. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall go. So I read that. Waiting for that noise to disappear. 8th verse. If she please not her master, who had, meaning he had sex, the man could buy the woman and do whatever, put her out in the field, put her, make her cook. Uh, he can make her, she can become his wife, whether she liked it or not, because he owns her. And this is what the slave master did. He laid with the slave woman, and it was technically lawful, but to lay with your woman servant in slavery, I'm talking about chattel slavery, and then give it to a man, that's adultery. If she please not her master, meaning sexually, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed, bought back, to sell her unto a strange nation. He shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. Strange meaning another Israelite. You wasn't going to sell an Israelite woman to an actual another nation. That's a whole nother topic. And if he have betrothed her unto his son. Now, he might have got the girl when she was 11, 12 years old. And he might say, I'm going to deal with her. Or I'm not going to deal with her. I'm going to get my son is 13 years old or 14 years old. I'm going to give him a gift. This Israelite woman. So he can decide to lay with the woman, or he can decide to give that woman to his son. It says in his, and if he betroth her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. In other words, she's no longer a slave. She's the master's daughter-in-law. She became a part of the family. So if his son moves on, he can move on with his wife that his father gave him. If they have children, the son can move on with the children and the wife. If he take him another wife, her food, her remnant, and her duty of marriage, meaning you got to deal with her in the bed, shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. That's if you marry your servant. So now let's come back over here. I'm finished of what I'm speaking on. I just want to see where the spirit takes me now. Let me go to notifications again. Okay, I got to watch this. Yo, check this. Kanye West is still in the news, or yay, Kanye West to take your money out of the bank movement, a lesson in financial literacy. Get a chance, I'll watch this. I gotta watch this. Darrell Brooks upset over his rap video in evidence, which is bullshit because you can just make shit up. But that shows you that the hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, drill music, whatever you want to call it, it's a curse. People get convicted because of the song that they put together, or they get killed. So that shows you that we're still under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Ain't no so-called small hat getting killed because he sung Hava Nakila. They ain't getting killed and shot over that. Uh-oh, silver shortage. I gotta watch this. Get a chance and watch this. He wrote your story already. Whatever happens is written. In other words, Esau's going down because it's written that he's going down. But the God is Shem or Sem is blasphemed daily. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. Tell the spirit hits me again. Shalom.